Good afternoon, everyone. I believe we're going to start with Coach McCaffery and then followed by, I believe, Luka Garza, Joe Wieskamp, and Jordan Bohannon. So we'll have Coach up first here in a minute or two. If I have not gotten to you for recording privileges and you want recording privileges, shoot me a note. So a couple quick notes. That was Iowa's 9th consecutive home win over an AP ranked opponent, dating back to last season. And Luka Garza, that was his 6th 30-point effort of the season, 11th of his career, which is second most in program history behind John Johnson, who had 13.
You screwed it up the last time, the time before.
I know.
Whites will never screw it up.
Tough person. I just don't like anybody to
Could hear
message me when
I got
you're on there. Or get an email.
You got a lot of girlfriends or something?
My wife will send me a message and she'll be like, oh.
You didn't respond.
What are you doing, James? We're ready. I can see you. James, can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, let's go. Okay, if you got a question for Coach McCaffery, please raise your hand in the participant window.
There you go. That's good.
First question comes from Chad Leistico.
Hey, good afternoon, Coach.
Okay.
Probably a obvious question, but Jordan Bohannon, 14 assists, no turnovers. Did you see him kind of ascending game by game here?
Yeah, you know, he has always really been tremendous in our fast break and our ability to push it. And from the opening tip today, I mean, he was pushing the ball and finding people. And then, you know, some things opened up for himself. I thought his decisions, when to shoot, when to drive, when to move it, and when to throw it into the post, I mean, it was practically perfect. You know, we always talk about we're a team that wants to move the ball, share the ball, but it starts with the guy bringing it down and getting that thing moving, and throwing it ahead, throw it inside, and then keep doing it. We mixed in some set plays. You know, we executed those. And, you know, it's fun to, you know, to look and say, okay, we had 27 assists on 31 field goals, and he's 14-0. I mean, I haven't seen too many lines like that. I told the team, you know, 19 points, 14 assists, no turns, 7 rebounds. Because the bottom line is this team goes to the glass really well, and your guards have to rebound. If you want to beat this team, your guards have to rebound. So unbelievable job by him.
One other reminder, we will not have a transcript for today. I forgot to mention that at the start. Next question, Scott Docterman.
Fran, your lead went from 18-5. You call a timeout. You didn't scream at him or anything. You just kind of seemed to talk to him, and then you got the ball to Luka a couple of times and scored. What was kind of your message there, and was it you trying to design almost to just get the ball to Luka to make sure that you get some good
Well,
balls?
I think the message there is, okay, let's evaluate the last 3 or 4 minutes. We got good shots. They had some tough shots, so it's not like we had 5 straight breakdowns, to upset anybody. It was stay the course, remain confident, move the ball, we'll get a good shot. Go down, be active defensively, give them one contested shot. You don't have to overthink it there. Start screaming at guys, you didn't block out, you didn't do this, and then diagram something ingenious that may or may not work. It's all about trusting your guys. I trust my guys. I had a veteran group out there, and they took it from 5 to 15.
Chad?
Sorry, I had to unmute. You always talk about how hard every Big Ten game is, and I certainly appreciate that. Do you appreciate the fact that this team just keeps winning? I guess these are all tough games.
It's really hard to do in this league. Minnesota's a terrific team. Richard's done a fabulous job putting that team together. He's got some new faces. They blended well. They had that one stretch where nothing went in, and they had one stretch where everything went in. But they keep fighting. They've proven that. They fought hard today. And I would echo what I said to the guys after the Maryland game is, it's hard. It's hard winning. It's hard winning in this league. And what you have to do is understand what went into it, appreciate that. You got to fight through some adversity throughout the course of the game, which we did. And then you got to step back and enjoy it. Enjoy it with your teammates, enjoy it with your family. And then, put your helmet back on.
John Sears?
Yeah, Fran, the last 4 games, you've held opponents to 75 points or less. Have you seen that defensive intensity increase?
I don't know if it's necessarily intensity as much as it is we're more connected, we're more together, our communication is better, there's fewer breakdowns. In the beginning, when we weren't getting stops, I thought our effort was good. We were doing a pretty good job on the ball screens, and I thought we fought them. We gave them some seconds. I thought in the first half, if I'm not mistaken, it was 7 offensive rebounds in the first half. That's too many. Give them credit for that. So I just think we're, as a veteran club, staying together and talking things out and really working as a unit.
Mike Halas?
Fran, Joe Wieskamp didn't really get the minutes at Maryland he normally gets, and his perimeter shooting hadn't been what is probably expected of him. But tonight, he looked like vintage Joe Wieskamp. Was it just one of those deals that, a few off games and there was no problem?
Yeah, I think in the last game was unique. Okay, we started slow. You saw it. I put a group in there. They go on a 20-0 run. And guess what, guys? I'm not taking that group out. And Joe understands that. And he had a tremendous, tremendous practice yesterday, I thought. And I told him, I said, that's how you play. You play that way at both ends, good things are going to happen, because he's always going to rebound. But I think he mixed it. His jumpers from 3, his pull-ups, and his drives. If he did make a mistake, he played through it and just kept fighting. I thought his physicality at both ends was really good. And the way they guard him is how he has to be. So we needed that kind of performance out of him today, and I'm proud of him.
Okay, last question for Coach, David Eicholt.
Yeah, Fran, you talked about this before, but just the unselfishness of this group. I mean, there's a lot of, big time names conference wide on this team. You have 27 assists on 31 made buckets. At this point in the season, just how much of a relief is it that you don't have to manage any egos and that the team is still all in on team success rather than trying to get their own numbers?
I think that's a great point, especially as it relates to probably more so the minutes distribution than it is shots or anything like that. There were times when guys that should have been playing or thought they should have been playing, other guys were in there. And we're fortunate that we have more depth than we've had, maybe since I've been here. So we have a team that we can go big, we can go with length, we can go small. But either way, we're getting productivity. And I think that's the critical thing. And, when you see a happy bench and a happy locker room, it's a tremendous feeling as a coach, but probably never been more important to have a happy and upbeat bench than this year. Our guys have really been locked in, cheering for their teammates, encouraging them. And, that's what winning teams do.
Okay, Coach, congrats on the win.
Thanks, guys.
Next up, we'll have Jordan Bohannon. It's muted, James. If you have a question for Jordan Bohannon, raise your hand in the participant window. James, unmute, please. Congrats on today's game, Jordan. We'll start with the first question from Chad Leistico.
Hey, Jordan, what are you most proud of? 14 assists, no turnovers, or 7 rebounds?
My answer is 0 turnovers. It's something I always pride myself trying to, not turn the ball over and be the guy that, is steady with the ball and look to find guys. So, that you guys know me well. It's definitely 0 turnover stat.
What do you think about your overall line? Have you ever had any line like that, even in high school? 19, 14, 7?
Not that I remember. I know I had a couple games, back in freshman year, back in the NIT, but, I got to give credit to all of my guys. If it wasn't for Luka making his layups, I wouldn't have 14 assists. I think more than 85% of my passes that were assists were to him tonight. So you got to give a lot of credit to him knocking down the shots.
Mike Halas.
Jordan, the Minnesota game on Christmas, was that sort of a line in the sand for you? It seems like ever since that night, you have been vintage Bohannon.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough, playing on Christmas and, not getting the win. That was a tough time especially for myself and our team. And we let that one slip away, and seeing them, come off the court and, a couple of them may have not, talked crap to us as we were going to the locker room. I'm not going to say any names, but that definitely provided fire for myself and coming into this game, because we knew that if we can take care of business here and throughout the season, that we can be really special. And we're just taking one game at a time. And everyone stepped up tonight. Everyone that came in provided a spark and allowed us to get this win tonight.
What's been the difference for you? I mean, the last all the games since then, you've been pretty much golden, and you admitted yourself that the first 7, 8, 9 games weren't what you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, I've been through. Obviously, there's a lot of worse things and surgeries on your hip, but I've been through hell from last year and a half, 2 years to trying to get rehab after my first hip, coming back, and I think I came back a little too early on my first surgery, and just to play those 10 games, and I had to go down with another surgery. It was a lot for me, mentally and physically, and it took a lot of internal motivation for myself to get back to the player that I knew I can be, especially everything I've been through off the court as well. So just continue to be around my teammates, and they kept me positive these last year and a half, 2 years, and especially this beginning of the year I wasn't playing the best, and they kept me positive. Coach kept me positive, and I knew at some point I would start getting back to myself, and I'm glad I finally can experience that again.
David Eichel.
Yeah, Jordan, obviously there's a lot of talking in this game about the revenge factor. I mean, as a player, did you guys really talk about that a lot in the locker room? And if so, how do you kind of balance just going about business as usual and just wanting to get them back? Is it difficult to do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely difficult, especially, we went there and on Christmas Day and we felt like we had them and we let that slip away. And that, I think, like I said earlier, that provided a spark for us and a fire internally for us to, come out tonight and kind of prove something that, we didn't play our best, but we know we can, play really well against Minnesota. And you got to give them all that credit. They're a really good team, really well coached. Coach Patino, really great coach in the league. A lot of great players on that team, and they're going to be a really tough out for a lot of teams moving forward. But we just really stayed connected. Even when they made a run, we punched back, and we didn't let them to stay in the game towards the end.
Tom Caker.
Jordan, as a team, you guys are now leading the country in assist to turnover ratio and assists per game. How proud are you of that as a team, as a unit?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a surprise. We knew that we have a lot of experienced guys this year, and with me, Connor, CJ, Weezy, Luka having the ball a lot, and Joe T coming in. There's a lot of guys that are just really smart in this team and have a high basketball IQ. And for us to have that kind of stat line of assist to turnover ratio, that just shows the kind of experience that we have. And we know where we need to be on the court, and we're helping other guys around us and holding everyone accountable. It's just everything factors into that, and it's just not the assist to turnover ratio. There's a lot of other factors that occurs because of that.
Take one or two more for Jordan before we get to Luka. Scott Docterman.
Yeah, Jordan, what is it about the unselfishness that makes this team go? I mean, it's hard to, this is a difficult sport to manage egos, and yet you guys have seemingly been able to master it because in some ways your leadership embodies it. You, Connor, I mean, how have you guys been able to blend that? Has that taken time?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely takes time. Any team that has great leaders, you're going to go through adversity at some point. There's going to be trials and tribulations. Everything's not going to be perfect. And I think, me, Luka, Connor, Weezy, CJ, all these guys that are upperclassmen know that. And for us to, when we go through adversity, like we did at Minnesota, when a team, punches us first during a game and comes out on a run, that we know that, we have to continue staying together, and to be great leaders, we have to continue to staying there for each other and being positive. And I think that's what makes our team so special, is we have so many great guys that are on the court playing with each other, and they're just really comfortable playing with everyone. And that's just what makes it so great.
Okay, last question for Jordan, Michael S.
Jordan, the school record for assists is 16. Is that within your grasp?
I mean, if Luka keeps making his layups, I'm definitely going to get there some game. You better keep shooting every time I pass it to him. That's all I'm saying.
All right, appreciate it, Jordan. Thank you.
Thank you.
James, I got muted, so if you could unmute, please. Okay, questions for Luka Garza. Scott Docterman.
Luka, what is it about the guards that are able them to get so many assists and get you the ball where you need it to be? Is that just simply years of practice and work, or is it something that they have that's tangible that really helps you get the ball where you need to get it?
I think number one, our guards are really unselfish. They push the ball and they're looking for others. And when we get out in transition, that's when we're at our best. And I was trying to run the floor as good as I could today. And Jordan and Connor, but especially Jordan today, was really, finding me in the right spots in transition, especially, and it helps me. It takes a lot of the, double teams away, a lot of the pressure away, because they can't double team in transition. When we're pushing it that fast, it's hard for them to adjust to that. So I just tried to run as hard as I could, and J-Will was finding me. It's awesome to play on a team like this with that many unselfish guys. Every one of our guys is, unselfish, and they know, that they might be open, but there's a better shot there, and that goes from me too, and anybody. So, so I'm just really lucky to be a part of this team.
Chad?
Hey, Luke, I got 2 questions for you here. One play that stood out to me was it was tied 39-39. You found Jordan in the corner for 3, and that broke that tie. Can you walk me through your thought process there and how big of a shot that was?
Yeah, I mean, it was a huge shot. If I remember correctly, I was being double teamed, and I was backing out of the double team trying to find somebody. We've been working, trying to get somebody to the rim and try to get me to throw that pass to the guy in the middle, which I got a couple times, but they adjusted and they left one of the best shooters in the country open in the corner. So I found him, and I think just being here with this team and these coaches, they've been pushing me really hard to get as good as I can, with dealing with double teams. I'm going to face that, for the rest of my career here. And then I have been facing it for a while, but I have to continue to improve and improve and improve and try to make them pay every time they do, and make them scared to double team. So that's what I've been trying to do, and try to find more people as best as I can and score. When I'm in a position where I can go up quick, like in transition when Jay was throwing me all those passes.
Okay, and then how big is it when he and Jordan and Joe Wieskamp are both kind of on for you? How does that help?
Again, it takes the pressure off. I think, Weezy was so great tonight, efficient, 20 points on nine shots, that's impressive. And he was just really good the whole game. He was waiting for his spots and hit the shots that he had. And it was just impressive. So, whenever you have guys like that who can take the pressure off, when I'm getting double teamed, it makes it hard, for teams to come, as much. And I think, in the second half, there were a couple of times that, they wanted to double team and they couldn't, because they were worried about the guy they're guarding. And that gave me some more space to be able to operate.
Mark Emmer?
Yeah, Luka, when they cut the lead to 5, they're late, and you guys called that timeout, I guess. What did you guys talk about in that huddle? Obviously, it looked like things were about to repeat themselves, and then you came out and scored 2 big baskets. I guess, what about the response you guys had tonight?
We weren't going to let it happen again. I think we just needed to lock in, get a couple of buckets, get back in transition, and get stops, really. We had a couple of stops. We had a lot of stops throughout the game that we just didn't finish off by getting the rebound. And I think, Jack Nungy was terrific down the stretch of getting all those rebounds, and I'm super proud of him. And he helped our team win this game, with some of the biggest plays. He had a huge short corner jumper, and all those rebounds down the stretch was really key to this victory. But yeah, we just needed to get stops and get out and run, and then we did that, and then we were able to score a couple times in a row, and then obviously we hit a huge 3 to kind of seal the deal.
Any other questions for Luka? David Eichel?
Yeah, Luke, I asked Fran this, but I mean, you guys on this team have so many probably just, big name players as far as the Big Ten goes, even some national players, but it seems like you guys are probably one of the most unselfish teams in the country. I mean, how much of a benefit just is it for you guys that you don't have to waste any time managing egos? You can just kind of focus on the task at hand.
It's the reason I came back to be a part of this group. We got a lot of guys in here that are unselfish and they want to win. And everyone in the locker room is worried about one thing, and that is winning. We don't care how it happens, who scores, who doesn't score, who has an off night, who doesn't. We got so many players that we can, afford to have a guy who doesn't play as well and still win games. So, I think that's the biggest thing. There's never been an issue with ego here at the University of Iowa, and so that speaks to Coach Fran's culture here and what we do. We make sure that we recruit the right guys, and then when we're together, we make sure that we have no problems with that. No one's worried about anything other than winning.
Okay, congrats on the win, Luka. Appreciate the time.
Appreciate it.
Our last player will be Joe Wieskamp.
Well, thanks, Luke. Thank you.
Sorry, I think I was muted. First question, Tom Kakert.
Joe, Fran said tonight that you had one of your best practices yesterday. What did you do to kind of refocus? Did you do anything special?
I think I just took a lot of time to think after the last game. Obviously, been struggling a little bit lately. Only played 17 minutes, so a little just kind of frustrated a little bit. So I just knew that I kind of had to earn a little bit of respect back and had to go prove that in practice. So I was just extremely aggressive, up in people's space in practice, and just trying to set the tone and let him know that what I'm capable of and why I need to be on the floor and things like that. But I know that he has trust in me and all the confidence in the world in me. So just try to be aggressive and have a good practice leading up to a game.
Mark Emmer.
Yeah, Joe, what was going through your mind when they cut the lead down to 5 late? It kind of felt like a little bit like the game up there. And I guess, how did you guys respond? What was the key to that response?
Yeah, I mean, they made a good run in the second half, but I think we continue to just keep outrunning them. We did a great job in transition. Obviously, Jordan had a terrific game, 14 assists, no turnovers is pretty special. And he did a great job of finding Luka. And Luka was outrunning Robbins every single possession, and he was tired to end the game. So they just did a great job of continuing to run and take it to him.
Tom Kakert.
Joe, you went over 1,000 points for your career. What does that mean to you?
It's pretty special. Obviously, one of the goals that I set for myself when I got here at the university, I've always been a guy that likes to score, obviously in high school. But it's a special accomplishment for me, but just got to keep moving forward.
Mike Halas.
Joe, why did you, I mean, to use your own words, struggle recently? And what does a player like you do to change the course of that?
I think it's a combination of getting in the gym, just continuing to work on my shot, and then watching a lot of film, just seeing the ways that teams are playing me. Obviously, they're still kind of up and pressuring me and trying to take things away because I'm a pretty big threat on the wing. So just watching film and seeing ways in which I can attack defenses differently, how I can play off Luka. Obviously, he draws a lot of attention. So when teams go and double him, ways that I can cut or move or screen, just kind of read the defense better to try to create more open shots for myself. And I think at times I've kind of forced some tough shots, and that's might be why my numbers are down a little bit. But I think it's just getting back to taking the right shot, making the right basketball play. And if you're coming off a screen, finding the open guy instead of trying to force something up. So I think it's a combination of being in the gym and watching film.
Mark Emmer.
Yeah, Joe, obviously they hurt you guys with 3-point shooting up there. Tonight they're only 10 of 34. What was better about your 3-point defense?
Yeah, I mean, our loss up there on Christmas night definitely has been in the back of our minds ever since that happened. So this game was kind of personal for us. And so we knew that they were, they obviously shot it well at their place, but they were also getting a lot of open looks. So that was one of our key, emphasis on the game was to get up in their space, make them make tough contested shots. And they made a couple, but as you can see, for the most part, I think we did a good job of being up into their space and making them make tough shots.
Scott.
Yeah, I mean, you guys made 27 assists on 31 baskets. What was that seems to be emblematic of the way you guys perform offensively. What does it say about the unselfishness of your offense as a whole and your point guards in particular?
Yeah, I just think we have a really unselfish team. Obviously, it starts with Jordan and Joe T, and even Connor is our foreman. He's a terrific passer, always finding the open guys. But Jordan really set the tone tonight. Like I said, the way that Luka ran and Jordan just kind of threw it up to him. I feel like I was getting some conditioning in at some points, just watching him throw it to Luka and he lay it up. But that's just how we play and how we want to play. In the games past, we haven't got as many transition points, and that's been one of our emphasis. And I think we did a better job of running as a team, and that led to maybe some easier assists.
Okay, we'll take one or two more for Joe. Chad.
Hey, Joe. You guys left that Minnesota game on Christmas 1-1 in the Big Ten. Now you're 5-1 in the Big Ten. Do you like where you are in this Big Ten race right now?
I mean, obviously we'd like to be 6-0. Like I said, that one's in the back of it was in the back of our mind ever since it happened. But the only thing you can do from that point is focus on each, like one game at a time, like I've been saying all year. And that's what we've been doing. And to be 5-1 at this point, we're happy with it, but we're not satisfied. We want to win a Big Ten title. And so we just got to take it one game at a time. And we know we have a good Michigan State team coming in here on Thursday night. So we got to focus on that one now.
Okay, Joe, congrats on reaching 1,000 points and congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Okay, that concludes today's